Hello everybody, welcome to my reformer class plan using a magic circle. This is something that I recently taught some of my intermediate and my advanced clients. So from here we're going to go straight into our footwork. I'm going to alternate, so every time the left leg goes long, that right knee is coming in towards the body. I always get the clients to start in a group class on the same side. So I'm going to send that right leg under the footbar on one count and then over the footbar every single time that left leg goes long to open the carriage. The right knee is coming in towards the body. I'm going to see if the clients can bend it any closer to the body every single time that left leg goes out straight. We're keeping the magic circle just tracking directly over our chest, keeping our arms straight for the entire workout. Here. So we'll try and do 12 of these. I'm going to usually get clients to do 12 on each leg, over and under, and then we're going to swap over. So then our right foot's going to immediately go down onto the footbar, and then we're going to swap. So our left leg's now going to be the one to go out straight, and then coming in towards the chest every single time. See if that left leg can come in any closer towards the body every single time. It's worth noting that the body position is completely neutral here. We don't want to be leaning into one side more than the other, even though we are just working into single leg. The whole challenge here is to keep the arms straight, keep that circle tracking directly over the chest, whilst keeping everything in the body completely neutral. It's a lot of coordination to start our workout with today. So I'm going to do a few more on this leg, and then I'm going to take that leg back to join the right leg. From here, I'm going to place that circle directly in between the knees. So just have it so wherever it's comfortable. I mean, I say that the circle is not the most comfortable prop, but we're going to squeeze into that circle. So we're going to have it just over our knee. We're going to roll up into a glute bridge. So we're going to peel the spine off one vertebrae at a time. The arms are just still straight alongside the body, just help to stabilize the carriage here. And I usually advise clients to dig their heels into the footbar just to allow that greater depth and that wider range into the glute bridge. We're trying to keep the carriage closed the whole time here, so we feel like we're fighting with it to keep it closed, keep it controlled, giving that circle a bit of a squeeze every time we get to the top and when we get to the bottom, keeping that tension on the circle the whole time. We're going to do a few more like this. Excuse my bruises down my leg. Usually I'm in a 4-point position when I'm explaining things to clients on the floor, so as well as walking into machines here and there, I think other instructors will understand how that feels. I feel like I'm constantly covered in bruises down my legs. From here, that circle's going to go over our knees and we're going to repeat those glute bridges. This time we're going to pull into that circle using the outside of our knees. So we're going to roll up into that glute bridge, peeling off with control, again, touching one vertebrae at a time. Every single time we peel down. We're going to peel down at the same tempo, that same speed that we peel up with. We want to keep it nice and controlled. We're not rushing. We're not going so high that we start to flare the chest. We're keeping the chest and the ribs nicely closed at the top. We're keeping the glutes lifted and we're keeping everything else neutral, peeling up and down, all with control. I'm usually going to get clients to do about 8 of these with the circle on the outside of their knee. Last few like this. Keep pulling into that circle every single time, keeping the arms just tracking directly beside the body on the carriage to help stabilize us here. And then I'm going to do a nice little glute stretch, hamstring stretch. I'm going to give clients the opportunity to use that circle to pull that leg closer to their body on each side, and they can even open out towards the right and towards the left, just taking that leg out, opening the hips a little bit further. I tell them to only go as far as it feels good whilst keeping both sit bones down. We don't want to be coming off one side again. We want to keep everything else really neutral, and then we'll just swap those feet over. So now the left foot can come in and we can just open that leg over to the other side of the room, keeping everything else nicely neutral. Once we've done that, we're going to take that leg back in towards the body, remove the foot, and then we're going to roll up. We're going to change the springs for this next section. We're going to work into our upper body. So we've started with 2 red and 1 blue springs for the footwork. I'm going to take the 2 red springs off now, and I'm going to just leave 1 blue spring on now to go into our upper body workout. Just do a quick stretch before we get there. And then from here, we're going to come into a kneeling position. So I'm going to have the right foot forward onto the carriage. I'm going to take the left leg back. So the left foot is feeding behind me, just through the shoulder rest. I'm going to take the left strap only, and I'm going to take the circle in both hands. So the left hand has the strap and the circle. The right hand just has the circle. From here, we're going to keep the arms straight and we're going to float those arms down towards the left and then back up to the center. I'm just checking my alignment here. It's really important that our right knee is tracking directly over our right foot here, just to support our alignment. I really want the spine to be nice and straight. Even when we're working into these slight rotations, we're keeping everything nice and engaged in our core. Nice straight spine the whole time. We're keeping that space between our ears and our shoulders. We'll do about 8 of these and then we're going to go into our presses, bringing that circle closer towards our chest and then sending it out in front of us, keeping those arms straight as we send it out again, moving in and out at that same tempo each way. We'll do about 8 of these and then we're going to move over to something else. We're usually getting a bit of an arm ache at this point. And then from here, we're going to sit back onto our heels, very carefully allowing the carriage to control and almost close here. And then we're going to take the other strap in our hand. We're going to work into our triceps. I'm going to give clients the option to come up onto their knees or they can stay on their heels. If their control is strong, I'm happy for them to come up onto their knees. If not, then I'd advise them to stay on their heels. We're going to hinge forward, keeping that spine straight, hinging from the hips as we take those arms behind the head with the circle and then back overhead, just bending and extending those arms, keeping that tension on the circle. The circle is quite wide, but we are still having our elbows relatively close to our head. I'm going to see if they can drop it a little bit further behind their head on these last few reps. And then from here, we're going to release those arms down, just roll out their shoulders a little bit. Place the left strap back. We're going to keep hold of the right strap. Now our left foot's going to come forward. Make sure that knee is directly over the foot and the ankle again. Take the arms out long and we're going to start to float those arms down with the circle towards the right. And then back to the center, over towards the right and then back to the center. Keeping the arms strong, keeping everything engaged still on this side. Just getting the slight rotation in the other way now, keeping everything else nice and connected. Core is strong, nothing else is changing. Our arms are usually getting a little bit tired at this point, going straight into this right side. After we've done about 8 to 10 of these, we're going to go into our chest presses, bringing that circle closer in towards our body and then out in front. We're trying to keep that circle at the same height. So we're trying to keep it in line with our chest when the arms are bent and it's close to our chest. And then when they go out long and it's away from us, we're trying to keep it at a similar sort of height the whole time here. And then after we've done about 8 of these, we're going to place that strap back. I'm not showing every single rep in this video, just for speed. Plus, I was a little bit sore after doing this workout a few times. So I'm just showing kind of a few of each one. From here, we're going to go into a 4-point position. We're going to place the left foot up on the foot bar and the hands are going to be directly in line with the shoulders, making sure the wrists are supported with a flat palm in front of the shoulder rest. So we're keeping that 4-point position. The left foot's going to come up on the foot bar, right knee is down on the moving carriage, and then the right foot's going to float up. So it's not going to be brushing on anything here, keeping that back nice and strong still the whole time. Everything else is completely neutral. Once clients have got that, if they're advanced, they're going to start to combine the right arm extension. So they're going to reach forward with the right arm as the left leg is going straight. So opposite arm and leg reaching away from each other and then bending back in. Clients love this one. Once they've got that control, it's still that light tension. We still only have that blue spring on. So be mindful that the carriage will move. When clients first start to reach forward, they feel a bit like, oh, a little bit wobbly. So just make sure they have that control. And then from here, I'm going to swap straight over. We're not going to be here for so long that it's too much weight bearing on the wrist. So we are just going to move straight over, extending that right leg out. And then once we've got that stability, we're going to reach that left arm forward. So opposite right and left here, reaching away from each other and then bending back closer together. We'll probably get clients to do about 10 of these on each side before moving over to the next exercise, making sure their hips and their torso are staying as square as possible to the carriage. That is the goal of this exercise. We want to keep everything as square as possible. From here, I'm going to put the foot bar down and I'm going to grab that circle. I'm going to lie on my back and we're going to work into one of my favourite ab exercises. Going to make sure the sit bones are really close to the shoulder rest here. And Pilates, please, I am sorry, please excuse me, I would never let clients have their hair down. I know how dangerous this is in terms of the chance, of getting it caught in the springs, and this is something I don't recommend myself. So please excuse me for having my hair dangling down here. Only one spring was on, so there was minimal chance of getting it caught. I'm going to extend the legs out, and I'm going to do some scissors here. Just keeping those legs long. I'm probably going to get clients to do about 10. I was a little bit tired here, so I haven't done as many as that. I'm going to place that circle on my knees as I roll up, and I'm going to place those straps back here. From here, I'm going to come off the carriage, and I'm going to get the long box, and I'm going to lie on my front. Whilst my right hand has the strap, it's taking hold of it actually a bit further down on the rope. I'm going to work into single arm extensions. We still have this blue spring on for our single arm extensions here. I'm keeping my head in line with the rest of my body in the rest of my spine. My left hand is actually stabilising that circle. So that circle is resting on the headrest, and I'm kind of resting my chin on top of my hand, on top of the handle on that circle. So just keeping my gaze down towards the floor, but towards the back of the reformer. That right arm is the only thing that's moving. I'm going to keep it straight the whole time here as it extends all the way up. Before it just kind of gets higher than my body, I'm stopping at the height of my body as much as possible, keeping it quite tight to the box, and then I'm taking it back down in front, keeping it straight the whole time here, whilst that left hand is stabilising the circle. I'm probably going to get clients to do about 10 of these, the single arm extensions, on each arm. I'm just going to throw that strap down because it's a little bit fiddly with the circle in the way. Before we go into our left arm, we're going to go into some extensions here. So I'm going to press into that circle as I take my gaze down towards the headrest. And then I'm going to release the tension from that circle, keeping the arms stacked on top of each other here, the hands on top of each other, as I extend my head and neck up, taking my gaze towards the back wall. So I'm going to press into that circle with both hands as I lower down. I'm going to try and keep the legs as connected as possible. Once I've got a few of these sorted and I know what I'm doing, I'm going to start to extend my legs a little bit longer. So I'm going to keep those legs and feet engaged the whole time. I'm going to start to lift them off into a swan here, extending the head, neck and upper spine all the way here. This should feel really good after all this back and arm work we've been doing. Keep pressing into the circle as we lower our gaze down, and then releasing tension from that circle as we extend our head and our legs up. And then from here, I'm just going to swap the arms around now. So I'm going to move that circle out of the way so I can get the left strap. And then I'm going to keep that circle in my right hand. So I'm going to keep my gaze in the same place it was on the right side, down towards the back of the reformer, but on the floor. That left arm is going to extend all the way up and then back down. Apologies, you can't see much of it from this side, but it's doing the exact same thing that it did on the right, just extending all the way up and then lowering back down at that same speed with control, keeping the legs engaged the whole time here, keeping the head in line with the rest of the body and the spine. I'm going to get clients to do the same amount. If we did about 8 to 10 on the right arm, we're going to do the same number on this side, making sure that working with their breath, they're going to exhale every single time. It's usually this point of the class, we've done a lot of upper body where the clients start to feel quite tired. So I'm going to make sure they're keeping everything engaged. We're not having any floppy legs here. Everything is engaged. And then from here, we're going to move into a short box. So I'm going to change the springs now. I'm going to actually add on every single spring. So I'm going to make sure they're all added on now as we're not moving the carriage for this next section. I'm going to grab the magic circle. I'm just taking those straps out of the way to tidy everything up here. And I'm going to sit on the box with my feet just in front, just making sure my body weight is in the centre. And then I'm going to get that strap and I'm going to place my feet under the fluffy strap, just making sure it's in the right position so my body weight is in the centre. And I'm going to get that platform out of the way. Sometimes it's okay to have the feet resting a little bit on the platform to begin with, but for here, the strap was quite tight, so I needed that space. I'm just going to shuffle on back a little bit. I'm going to hold those arms out straight, and I'm going to work through some roll downs here. So I'm going to keep the core engaged as I scoop the belly in. I'm going to roll all the way down, and then I'm going to extend those arms overhead as I stack my spine up on top all the way back to the centre. Seeing if I can get a little bit taller in the spine every single time taking those arms over the head, really nice and long arms. From here, next time I roll down, I'm going to start to work through my figure of eights. I'm going to float the circle with my arms straight over to each side, just drawing those figure of eights, keeping the core engaged the whole time. I do not want to go so far that my back's going to start to take over. I'm going to check in with the clients as they're doing this to make sure the core is engaged the entire time, keeping that strap pulled by both feet, keeping both legs completely engaged. Have a little rest here and then work through some twists. We're just going to lean over, still going to each side, alternating from side to side. Keep working with your breath here. Keep twisting. The twist is coming from our ribs, trying to keep those arms straight as we twist the circle over to each side with control. It's tempting to rush, but we're going to do it with control. We're going to go into our final section now, which is our final ab section. I'm going to get those legs up into almost a 90-degree angle. I'm going to squeeze the circle in. I have moved the springs onto one red and one blue, usually for clients. If they want more of a challenge, they can have two red, but usually I'm going to end the class with one red and one blue spring for my intermediate to advanced clients. I'm going to keep the arms straight. I'm going to work through my supine arms now, keeping everything really neutral, keep that circle engaged between the knees. I'm going to lower the arms down with control, keeping them straight the entire time, just floating them up above the carriage by a couple of inches and then straight back up. If I feel like I'm a little bit too close to the shoulder rest, I will just shuffle on down a little bit more here so that I'm not hunching all the way up. I'm pressing heavy into both straps here, keeping those arms straight the whole time, just floating down and then back up. From here, I'm going to start to work through my ab curls. So every time I press heavy into those straps, I'm going to extend my head, neck, my chest up, taking my gaze through my knees towards the front with control, working with my breath here. I'm not rushing it. It's a controlled movement. On the exhale, I'm curling up. On the inhale, my hands and my head are going back down. For now, nothing else is moving. The legs are going to stay fixed, squeezing into that circle. Every single time I curl up and down with control. And then from here, I'm going to start to extend my legs out. They're probably not going to go all the way straight because that circle is there, but they're going to go as straight as possible with a soft bend in the knee. Just keep pointing the toes, keep squeezing into that circle every single time I curl up and press into those straps. The arms are still staying straight the whole time. Little core finisher to finish off my session today. I'm just going to squeeze in and out into that circle, keeping my breath going strong. Usually I get clients to do this about 10, maybe 12 if I'm feeling mean, 12 times, and I'll count them down. And then I will tell them to relax, taking that circle back in, away from the knees, and just throw it on the floor. Do any final stretch you want to do here. We're going to go into our feet in straps to finish the class, which is always how I like to finish my classes. So I'm going to tell clients in their own time, they're going to reach behind and they're going to take those big straps and they're going to place the big glutes over the balls of their feet. They're going to flex the feet as they take them up towards the ceiling. And they're going to point the toes as they float those legs down. Heavy feet into the straps every single time. Down straight towards the springs and then back up straight towards the ceiling. I'll get them to do a few of these, and then from here I'm going to tell them to draw circles. So we're going to take those legs down straight, and then once they're ready, they're going to start to draw big circles. So every time they take those feet down, they're then going to draw some big circles. We're going to work through our internal and our external rotations here. So we're going to circle those feet round and join them at the top, and we'll do a few in each direction. So we're going to work with one direction first, and then we're going to change here. So we're going to keep that small gap between the legs every single time they float down towards the springs. And then we're going to circle the feet, flexing the feet into the straps as we circle them round and pointing them still as they go down straight towards the springs. I usually get clients to do about 6 each way. So we'll change direction here. So we're going to separate those feet at the top, flexing at the top, and circle those legs round, joining at the springs, flexing them as they go up straight towards the ceiling, opening from the top. So we're just ending our class with our external and our internal rotations here. heavy feet into the straps as you point them and circle them down. And then from here, I'm going to allow clients to go into their shoulder stand and short spine. They're going to keep their heels glued together the entire time with control. Notice how slow I am peeling my spine down. I want this same control with everybody in my class. We're going to keep that diamond shape in between our legs, keeping that shape the whole time as we peel down, keeping the arms still. The arms are just there to support us and help stabilise the carriage, and we're peeling down with control, touching one vertebrae at a time. I usually get clients to do about 3 to 4 of these, depending on how the class is. And then from here, we're going to do our final stretch. I'm going to draw my right knee in towards my body. I'm going to point the toes over to the left side. I was quite close to the wall here when I was filming this workout, so my left toes were pretty much touching the wall here. I'm just going to swap those legs over now. So then my left knee's coming in towards my body and my right leg is going out long. I love to end the class with the final stretch here. Something that just stretches the legs out, that allows clients to open their hips, just to end the session feeling really, really relaxed. I feel like clients will really appreciate after a hard session, a really nice stretch here. And that is the end of my workout. So I really hope you enjoy it and take some inspiration. This is shorter than the usual 45 to 50 minute workout because I haven't shown every single rep. But with everything that I've included, with control and with the explanations, this should take your class to about 50 minutes. So I hope you really enjoy it.